drowning. And I've been nervous all morning, but we're going to get through this.
Of course we are.
Marisa.
My mom told me a joke once when I was younger. She said the men in my family were like oceans and the women were Atlantis. We all drowned, she laughed. But I didn't get the joke. I didn't understand until now that the funny thing about drowning is you never think it can happen to you until it does. Never take into account what part of the water you're in. We just float aimlessly. I was floating, aimlessly drifting in his currents. Enamored with how he glistened and tales of men who couldn't conquer him, I thought I could. My mom was wrong. The women in my family may have been Atlantis, but I was Odysseus. I thought I could navigate his seas and make it back home in one piece, forgetting the part of the story where he shipwrecked and I lost my sense of self, but I never noticed because I could always see my reflection in him.
Okay. Talk to him.
So I continued drifting amongst the waste his sorry excuse for parents polluted him with. Amongst the plastic ideals that every woman he had before me reaffirmed, and when he showed me those raging waves that people spoke of, I grew gills because I had forgotten how to breathe in his presence. Grew fins to maneuver his changing tides because water is never held accountable. I formed scales for him. Evolved without realizing that I had been reduced to every other fish that ever swam in his sea. You see, these things happen slowly. And the funny thing about drowning is it isn't funny at all, and when it happens to you, sometimes panic comes before logic. Sometimes logic doesn't come at all. Maybe logic is drowning too, or maybe it wasn't foolish enough to follow me here. I don't know. The panic is setting in. It's settled in. See, we've been through this many times before. I just hadn't noticed. Because in the books, racing hearts are romantic, and I thought if the waves were dragging me down under, it was my fault for not knowing how to swim. But now I've drifted so far that I can't tell the horizon from the shoreline, and I'm afraid I won't get back. So I play this Marco Polo with myself, but it's hard when I've been conditioned to not speak back. So at times when I don't respond, know that I've grown accustomed to being silent. I'm sorry if I'm silent, but I promise I haven't lost the voice of the woman that I used to be. It just gets hard to speak when your lungs are filled with water. Trust me, I've tried. I've cried out for help, but no one understands the gurgles. Do you know what it feels like to choke on someone else's words? Foreign, so they don't quite fit the geography of your throat. Phrases like, yes, we're okay, and I'm so lucky to have him. Get so thick at times, but that's why he's water. He always makes sure they go down with ease, and I'm so lucky to have him. He called me his moon again. And each time gets less romantic than the last because moons are to blame for the ocean's tide, and I refuse to keep believing the damage is my fault. I looked to his shoreline and noticed it was littered with the bodies of broken women, and that night I prayed for the strength to stop struggling, to let the waves chew me to pieces and spit me back up, to pretend not to give a damn because he's known to break those too. I'm drowning because I never learned how to swim in insecurities of men. Never had to pull myself out of currents of doubts. I was never warned about whirlpools of accusation. So mom, when you see these bloodshot eyes, know it was the ocean. Mom, when you notice every inch of my skin is pruned, know it was the ocean. Mom, I'm drowning because the punchline came too late. But the truth is, you never wanted me to understand it. Because your laughter was the warning cry of every woman who never made it off a sinking relationship, and now I laugh too. Because those affirmations you wrote in my sands have been washed away by the tides of a man known to wreck cities, and city girl that I am, I've been wrecked by a typhoon I did not see coming. Waves that rose higher than any wall I could have built. I've been flooded, and I didn't have the chance to build an ark. There was no warning. Maybe because I traded my God for him. Converted to his views since I'd been baptized so many times in his water, head dunked under over and over and over until I spluttered his praises the only way a drowning lung knew how. Maybe the women of my family drowned because all they knew were slave hymns of wading in waters, not knowing that we'd get lost in the depths of them. That the river of Jordan leads to a dead sea of men who'd never been taught how to properly love, and we are left trying to breathe life into them when we needed the air for ourselves.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Rewind.
Maybe the women in my family drowned because all they knew were slave hymns. of wading in waters, not knowing that we'd get lost in the depths of them. That the river of Jordan leads to a dead sea of men who've never been taught how to properly love, and we are left trying to breathe life into them when we needed the air for ourselves. Years from now, they'll speak of us, of me, an Atlantis woman. They'll pull the broken pillars of my confidence out of the sea. They'll tell our infamous joke, my joke, but they won't get the punchline. Their remorse in my fall. They'll say that I was a wondrous woman who couldn't withstand the tides of a man. Woo!